It is yeah, it is basic. It was basic thing about fast APIs, about how APIs work, and all those basic details, right? If there is anything, you let me know on the chat, or then you can reach out to me separately. Ishan, what about you?
Yeah, no, I think it's all good, Mr. Shah.
So were you able to make the Gradio application? The Gradio
Yes,
application.
I attempted it, yes.
So you were able to use it was working fine, right?
Yeah, according to the video, I just went by whatever the video did.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you were you able to generate your own code, your own application?
The GPT,
Yes.
it was showing an error a couple times. But like I understood the what you mentioned in the video, so I think I knew how to do it. I think I was just typing something wrong with like a syntax or something.
But the syntax is there already, right? The syntax is there already. I had shared the GitHub link also.
I'm not sure why. They just kept saying like a certain error. I'll just check again. But yeah, you can continue. It's fine. I'll ask separately.
Okay,
Even
okay.
I did but what I have done, I recreated the token and I have did the new one, which is running properly.
So, Ishan, did you rerun the token yourself, or did you get the token yourself, or are you using the same token that I used?
I think I use the same token as what you use.
No, no, that will not work. You need to create your own token. That is important because my token is I'm using from my system, and it is a Google token, right? So it will work. But if the same token someone else uses,
Oh, okay. This is the
it is
token
like a
I got
key.
from
Yeah,
Hugging Face, right?
yeah. So you have to go to Hugging Face token,
Got
and
it,
you
got it.
need to create. So okay, so you can just try that. If not, you can ping me. It is a very simple code, and I can also, for the people who have joined new, Ritesh and Rekha, I can just, if you don't guys don't mind, I can just 2 minutes quickly show you. So it'll be a refresher also, because this is interesting, right? This is like from that specific thing we are going to talk today about. Today's topic is more about large language model. So thank you, Safni. Safni was part of the dot clearing session, so it was very interesting. And today we are going to understand what GPT-2 was. We used GPT-2. So if Ritesh and Rekha, so GPT-2 is a large language model. And today we are going to talk little bit details about large language model, but we did a quick demo of how we can make a simple chatbot using the uh, using a simple few lines of code and hosting it on Gradio. Gradio is a UI interface, UI user interface, which enables your code to have a Google Chrome extension. Like you can directly use the URL and use it on Google Chrome. So that is what we did, and that was one of the assignments from the previous master classes, which some people were facing a little bit issue because of the key. So I just want to show them this particular thing. Let me share my screen. Yeah, that is fine. That is fine. Here you can just have a look about these things. So this is coding is important for you to little bit to understand. But today's theory, it's more about understanding how this. Why I'm showing everyone this is clear output. So this was the very simple code, right? This was. Let me just keep installing this, and then I will run. If you remember, I told you guys something to put here. Share is equal to true, for this to the link to be live for 36 hours. So this share link expires in 72 hours. If you do share is equal to true, the link will be there for a longer time and you can share among each other. So I'll just here, Mahesh, if you were also not this, I'll just tell you what is happening here. And I think you know about this because you've attended a lot of workshops, right? We are using Gradio. Gradio is a UI UX, which I'm going to show you as well. We are using a GPT-2 model. And today we are going to talk a little bit more in details about GPT-2 model. What is GPT-2 model? It is an initial, it's a very old large language model which was created, and it is not that good, and you will see the output. This is my token key which you have to generate from huggingface.com. This is my prompt. This is a simple 2 lines of prompt. What I'm asking the question, it is generating an output. And then we have a Gradio where you may ask your first uh, chatbot, your first Q&A chatbot, whatever you want to write here, your question, your response, and then this is when you click the button, this is going to happen. And this is a simple demo, I think, and you don't need to write the code. I will share the code here as well, Ishan. You can use the same code, but just change the key accordingly, and make sure that you run this, install the dependencies. I hope Ritesh, you remember last workshop, we had a big, we had lot of dependencies, right? Here it is very simple. We only need 2, Gradio and Hugging Face, and just 8 lines of code, which is going to help us uh, make the call the library of the prompt, and then the user interface. This is the user interface that you will see. Any application that you build should have a user interface. So user interface code, you don't need to keep running again and again. You will get it by default from Gradio documentation. So once I run this, share is equal to true, I will get this link. And I think, yeah, this is the link I will get. All of you can try this link simultaneously. So this is our first bot. I think for Mahesh, it is working for you. Ishan, it should work for you. Ritesh, you can also try this as well, right? You can take this code. You will have this code in your screen. Rekha, you as well. You can ask your question here. What is Tesla? So you put what is Tesla? You will get a response. Tesla is a type of, you will see this response is it good? Anyone in the comment want to share? Is this response good? So not relevant. Yes, Mahesh is telling not relevant. And let's be interactive. Cannot see this. 1 second, 1 second. Slow down, slow down. Cannot see this UI. No, you need to click the link that I shared with you. This one, the Gradio Live. And you will be able to see this user interface. Cannot see this UI. It is showing code. No, if you click this, it will show this. Let's see, I click this link, gradio.live. You will see this. Then, okay, can you share your screen? Let me see. Can you, Ritesh, share your screen once? Share your screen, I will let you know. I've given you access to share your screen. You just want to share your screen. No, try now. You can share your screen. It is showing on permission. I think you can share your screen. I have given access to share your screen. Yeah, you have. Try again. Okay, let me stop. Okay, 1 second. Now you can share. 1 second. For others, Mahesh, is it working for you? Ishan, is it working for you?
I'm not sure how to actually get the access token. I'm trying to get it from Hugging
Okay,
Face.
let me give you this link. No, 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 no. I shared one link for you on the chat, Ritesh. I shared a link on the chat. Not this is the code link. Can you hear me, Ritesh? Yeah, Mahesh, it is working. Please, I request you to. Yeah, you can stop
Yeah,
sharing
can
now.
you hear me?
Yes, now it is working, right?
Yeah, now I see it. Yes.
Can you stop sharing now? Yeah, please look at the chats. We are using chat as a primary communication. Okay, so now it is working for you. Thank you. Okay, cool. And for you, Ishan, you want to share your screen? Get the keys. Show me. I'll help you get the keys. If you want to share your screen quickly. And Ritesh, you also make a note of this when Ishan is doing. If you can get your keys, it will be great. You want to share your screen, Ishan? Keys are for you accessing any API, you need keys. Keys are like whenever, yeah. Hugging Face security token. Okay. Go to 1 second. Uh, uh, settings, access token. Can you click on the link I shared with you on the chat? Can you click that link, Ishan? I put it on the chat. Yeah. So so this is the link. Ritesh, follow this. Okay. Ishan, you can speak as well. You can unmute and speak as well if it is okay for you.
Yeah, okay.
You registered on Hugging Face before? This is the first time.
No, I have registered, but it's not on this laptop actually. That's why I have to sign in
Okay,
again.
I think you can use the same username password. Yes, Ritesh, just follow the steps that Ishan is doing. And you can
Sorry.
keep the keys with you, and that is
Yeah, these are optional, right? Yeah, okay.
it is to get the key. Yesterday also, when we discussed in the workshop, we have a key. We need a key to access any large language model. So this is what Ishan is doing. So for every platform that we are using, right? Like this is, and mostly, yes, very good. API key is the correct word. Key, someone Hugging Face calls is access token. Yeah, can you click new token, please? New token. I think you need to reconfirm that from your email address, that then only you will be able to verify your account. Then you will be
Yeah.
able to generate.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, take your time, take your time. So Ritesh, any doubt? It is working, right? The GPT, the chatbot is working?
Yeah. So I have doubts regarding the coding part, but I know what you're talking about. It's API keys, and you need those API keys to access the Hugging Face.
In our Thursday's workshop, we did remember last workshop we had two API keys. One was Google API key to access Google models, correct?
Yeah.
The second API key was, if you remember, can you tell me?
I think did we use ChatGPT API key?
No. We did not use ChatGPT. We use Grok.
Grok. Yes. Grok.
So this is a learning for all of you. Any application you are using, any application that you are using, you need to know how to generate the token. And ideally, in all our master classes, we will go through each of them. Like today, you can just mention classes or master class or anything, Gradio or anything, that is fine. Master class, just for them to know, generate token.
But Mohammed, why do we need Hugging Face? We have so many language models, Grok and ChatGPT, and now we have Claude.
Yeah,
so why do we
it
need
depends
Hugging
upon
Face?
you. You can take anything. I'm using this because I want to go through everything. I want in our master class, I want to give my students all the toolkits. Right.
Okay, so Hugging Face is also a LLM or what? I don't
Hugging
know
Face
what is
is a
it.
collection of LLMs. So right now we are using GPT-2.
Okay.
Okay, we are using GPT-2. Let me complete this first. Run this pip install. By the way, Ishan, this code will
Yeah.
not run right now. You need to give 2-3 hours after the token gets generated for it to get. It will take some time for it to register. So after 1 or 2 hours, you can try the same code. It should work. Keys will take 2 hours to get activated.
Okay. Is there a reason behind that?
Yeah, because it takes some time to get activated. Even some of the students tried earlier. Instantly, if you generate the key, it does not work. It needs to, the account has to be verified, whatever details you put, because of the spam and everything. So they take 1 or 2 hours for it to get activated. Now coming
So,
to
Mohammed, do we actually need Hugging Face to access all the models? It's like a single window for accessing all the models, or is it something else that we need
so
it for?
Hugging Face is also, yeah, Hugging Face keys are, there are a lot of open source models. Today I'm going to talk about it. Today there are a lot of open source models,
Yes.
and for accessing open source models, Hugging Face is one of the hubs. And not only large language models, but there are a lot of other models like text models, translation models. So Hugging Face is a collection of models that can be used for your development. And right now we are using GPT-2. This
Why
is
are we
a,
using GPT-2 instead of 4.0?
why I'm using,
GPT-2 instead of 4.0?
yeah, I can use anything. I can use Llama 3, I can use anything. So again, I'm telling
Because
you,
it's
I'm just,
4.0 is like the latest and the most updated one, yeah.
yes, yes. So why am I teaching you? This is foundation that I'm showing you two. If you see the output, why I'm showing you this? Because first of all, you don't, for you accessing 4.0, you need a credit card and all those things.
Mhm.
You cannot access it for free.
Okay,
And
okay,
GPT-2
got
is
it.
an open source model. GPT, and I'm going to talk about it, and that is available for free. And as you told
Understood.
correctly, this is not good. Like if you see the output, what Mahesh was telling and what everyone was telling, if I put something here, I will not get a good answer. Like in the last workshop, if you remember, the output that we, it was very good, right? It was coming from the document. So right now,
Yeah,
what we are doing is we are able to, this is not a good output, and I'm going to tell you why, and then we are going to build upon this. We are going to build upon this, and GPT, I will not use anything, any API. In the future, I may use if you require, but I'm not going to use much the API keys that require credit cards and all those things. But you can always do that. You can always use GPT 4.0, and but here I am using GPT-2, and I will use in the future workshops, I will use 4.0 and all those things that are there. Okay, so now coming to this, now this is clear. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go through this large language models. Okay, so let me, I will just request all of you to give me half an hour to walk you through this, and then we will take questions. You can, guys can see my screen,
yes,
the full screen.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now coming to, we just saw a small, not a so strong large language model like the GPT-2 right now, which is not that strong. And now we want to understand what actually is these large language models. We will give a bird eye view of large language models. And this is something very new, and this has caused a lot of waves around the market about large language models and companies using these large language models, and we want to go into details about these large language models. So just to understand this, we don't need to go into details about how it is being built and all those things, because that will become very statistically and mathematically deep. But in, if I say invariably, it is a development that has been happening. AI is very old, since 1956, things have been happening, and it is a evolution. Like from machine learning, we had deep learning, then we had advanced deep learning, and now we have large language models, which are an advanced deep learning thing, which is an advanced deep learning thing. And if you can see, these models are trained on vast data sets to understand and generate human-like text. And this is very important. Right now, we are only focusing mostly on text. And the main purpose of making these large language models was to bridge the gap between human language, the way we talk, and machine understanding. So machine learning and AI has been there for almost 50 years. But why right now every one of us are talking, right? We have so many non-tech people also interested in large language model. Like we have 2 or 3 people in the call who are non-tech. Why are you guys so much interested in large language model? Is because of this feature, that it is bridging the gap between human language and machine understanding. So you don't need to be that technically strong. You just need to know few basic parameters, and you can understand how you can tweak it, and you can understand what machine is talking about it. So there are a lot of large language models. We will talk about a few. We just saw one of the large language model in the example before, GPT-2, which is an open source. GPT-3, again, it is one of the this has started the revolution of chat GPT, which is a state-of-art LLM with 175 billion parameters. We will talk a little bit more about parameters and everything in the later slides, but these are the basic understanding of a large language model. Now coming to, okay, wanted to understand from the room, how old is large language model? Anyone can guess when was the first large language model started? Anyone in the room or wants to put on the chat or unmute themselves and tell?
I think 2020.
No. Okay, 2020 is one. Ishan is telling 55 years ago. That is AI. That is artificial intelligence, 1956. But large language model is not 55 years old. So Ritesh is telling 2020. Mahesh is telling 2020. Rekha is telling 1980s. So again, I repeat the question: large language models, large, not NLP, AI, data science. Mostly, it is about large language model like the one that we just used, GPT-2. We used one large language model right now in the example that Ritesh and everyone was showing, right? So the correct answer is 2018. 2000 and early 2018s, there was one paper, attention is all you need. And any guesses which company started the first large language model? Any guesses in the chat or in the, if you want to unmute and speak, which company started this large language model? What was the starting point of large language model? Which company?
Actually, it was discovered by Google guys, 4 Google guys who wrote this paper. Attention is all you need.
Yes, that is correct. So Google is correct. Safni is correct. Isha, not Microsoft. Microsoft is very, very behind this race. To be honest, Microsoft is very, very behind this race right now. OpenAI, it has invested in OpenAI, but it is still very much behind the race. And as correct as Ritesh and Safni is mentioning, it is Google. Google's DeepMind specifically. This was a department who used to do a lot of research, and till now, till date, I was reading about Google's research paper. You will not believe that 40% of the revenue of Google, or not revenue, profits of Google, after everything, the profits that goes into research and development. So more than $44 trillion per year goes into research and development from Google. All the products that we're using, right? Google, Gmail, Google One, all these things have come out of research. Why? Because they are spending 30 to 40% of their profits in research, and this is the culture that Google has, and because of that, we're getting all these new technologies. OpenAI took the learning from Google, and they were very fast to implement it, which I will talk later. That's why they were a small startup, right? Google cannot take risks. Google cannot take risks like OpenAI can. And it's a very interesting history about these large language models. And I will share this PowerPoint with all of you. And this tree is very, very interesting. Whenever you get time, and I will explain you this tree. And the one that is dark color, the one that you can see the dark color, is the open. So okay, any difference? Anyone? Can I just ask you one question? That the GPT that Ritesh was mentioning about GPT-4, GPT-4o 3.5, is it open source or closed source?
It is not completely open, Mohammed. It is
Anyone else?
actually
Yeah, not completely open. Okay, complete. Yes, tell me.
because after a certain point you need to pay and have the functionalities. So I think open source will be something which is completely open, and you don't need to pay anything on that.
Okay, can any one of you give me example of a completely open source and a completely closed source? Or don't use the word completely. It is open source or closed source. There is only two distinctions. Completely and not completely is
So then
it
it
is
is open source, I think.
which is open source?
GPT-4o,
Okay, and give me one example of closed source.
no idea.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so no, that is okay. Safni is telling not an open source. It can change, right? So it can change, correct? It can change. Things can change, but I will just give an example of an open source and a closed source that is there. Now, the one that we used today, yeah, or in the last master class and in this master class, and why I made you guys use it for a specific reason is you can see this, right? My marker. GPT-2, it is dark, it is an open source. So GPT-2, uh, I will talk more about what is open source, but just think about it is right now GPT. See, this is GPT-3, which is closed source. So why these things happen also, I will tell you in a very interesting the paper is that when GPT-1 launched, it was a small model in 2018 June, and then we had GPT-2 in 2019 March. Why they give it as open source? Because when what is open source is that any one of you can download it and run it in your local. Any one of you can download the model, the GPT-2 model in your local. You don't need internet to run that model. You cannot do that with GPT-4o and GPT 3.5, the closed source models that, and it is closed source. To be just to answer to Ritesh, it is not open source. The name is OpenAI. People get confused that OpenAI is doing everything for the society, which is not the case. It is one of the most profitable company, and it is only making, and every business is like that, right? They are they keep all their models. You can only do an API call with the keys and you can get the information. You cannot download the model, and you cannot tweak the model. So that is closed source. And why initially they gave open source GPT-2? Because they wanted people to use the model, learn from the model, and make it better. And in 2020 GPT-3 launched, which was a closed source, and then after this slowly we moved towards the chat GPT era that happened in 2002 November. And this was the thing that we will talk more about in the coming things that are there. But the most important thing I wanted to tell you is the difference between open source and closed source. Initially, companies they go for open source so that you use those models and you learn from the models and you make it better. And once they feel that you can make it, it can become commercial, then they close it. So as Ishan was telling, some of the so every model that they release, they have a choice to make it closed, to make it open. Yeah, go ahead, Ritesh. You can
Yeah,
unmute yourself.
I still exactly didn't get the distinction between both.
So just think about Chat GPT model is a closed source. You cannot run it locally without an internet connection. Just think like that. Very simple, non-technical definition. You cannot run a closed source model on your local system without internet.
Okay.
There are a lot of technical things more, but this is the most non-technical thing I tell people.
So basically, you cannot run when you cannot run without internet. It is a closed source model.
Yes. When you cannot run without internet, you can, because it is on your local system. You have the whole control of it, right? You don't need any keys. You don't need any. It is just your local system and your local code. That is it. So that is the thing about running it locally.
Mr. Arshad?
Yes. Tell me, Ishan.
So what's the other aspect? Like how do you not run it locally? How do you run it on like the actual platform, the general?
For which one? For closed or for open?
For like a closed source, if you can't run it locally, is it possible to just run it from like what do you mean by local? Like what's the distinction between local and like a different kind of?
So the one that one example that we showed you right now is GPT-2. Right now, GPT-2 model that you are running, it is not on your local system. It is on Hugging Face, and you are connecting to Hugging Face using a key. So that is the way most of the APIs are run. Most of the models are run by using a key, because these models are big. It is around 5 to 6 GB, and it takes a lot of processing power. But individuals like us, we are learning here, so we can do these. We can work around with keys. We don't need to have it on our local system. But think about a company like Adnoc or any big company who has private data. They don't want to use API. They are not comfortable in using API keys. Suppose you have a lot of, your company has a lot of confidential information, your code and everything. You are not comfortable to for the vulnerabilities, like for using security risk and always giving a request on to OpenAI, because when you do a request to OpenAI, your everything goes to the internet, through the internet to the OpenAI server, and it comes back. So there is a lot of vulnerabilities. You can get hacked. Your security systems can get. So that is why companies, they don't prefer to use closed source LLMs like GPT-3, GPT 3.5. They want something on their local system. Right now we in our laptop, if you want to run these models, you can do it if you have a processing power. If you have a strong processing power, you can only use the open source models like GPT-2, and there are more examples which I'll talk about. Like there is one example, very famous example, which I'm going to talk in the later slides, is about Llama 2, Llama 3 from Meta. You can use these open source models. They have given you the dump. They have given you the model file to take it and download it in your local system and run it. I hope now you're able to understand, Ishan and Ritesh.
So Arshad, some fine tuning required here.
Can you repeat that for?
Saying some fine tuning required in what you just said, so that I can understand very clearly. So when you do not do an API call, that becomes a closed source model or an open source model. And when do you do an API call to connect to a LLM?
So yeah,
that LLM can be called an open source model.
Okay, so now coming to API key, if, as I'll repeat again, if you are doing an API key, if it is not on your local system, right? If it is, that's why I'm giving the example. If it is not on your local system,
yeah, API key means not on the local system.
Yes,
You
then
are connecting to that.
So if it is, if it is not on your local system and you need to go somewhere else and get it, you need to give a request. You need an API key to connect to some other. Then it is a closed source.
Then it is closed source.
Closed source. And if you can, but here also there is a can thing, right? Because here for GPT-2, this example that I took, why I took this example, this is a open source model, but still we did not download it. We can download it and we can run it on our local system, but it will take a lot of resources and lot of processing power. That's why we are
so
not.
This becomes open. You don't need to do an API call. You can completely download the whole model and run it on your local
but
system.
yeah, we can do it. But in the previous example, we did not do it. We are still using a API key because we don't want to download the whole model. Because
so when you so when you the same model can be open and closed both.
Yes.
Open when you do an API key and call it and use it, and close
No,
when you have
I
already
will not.
downloaded the
No.
whole model in your system, and you don't
No,
do an API call.
I'll repeat. Yeah, you can do that. You can, but you cannot call a model an open and closed ideally, like, because of this. I just gave an example for you to understand. GPT-2, that is this example. Now you can say right now we have used it as a we have used it. This is a, but this is ideally a closed source model. We have used it as an open. We have used, this is an open source. Sorry, this is dark, right? This is open source. This is an open source model, correct? But we have used it here. One second. This is an open source model, but we have used here that it is becoming confusing. But
I understand. No, I understood your point. So basically, it is a closed source model, but here you have used it as a open source.
yes,
Correct?
but don't keep that confusion in mind. That's why I'm making it clear. I have used it because of the limitations of downloading it. We can always download this model in our local. It will take more time to process, but right now for this example, we have used it as an open source. But I cannot tell GPT-2 is a open source model. That is a distinguished thing I want everyone to tell. GPT-2 is always a open source model, but here in this example we are using it, we are accessing it on a different server. That is why on a different server, that is why we are using the key. It is not that it is this is a closed source model. It is always an open source model. Just think that this is
It's
this
clear. It's clear.
example, it is
It's clear.
installed somewhere. It is downloaded and installed in suppose in a Hugging Face server. I don't want to install 4 GB, 5 GB data again because it takes a lot of processing power. And I don't want to do that. That's why I'm putting the token and I'm getting the response and I'm working here.
So it was always an open source. In this case, you have used it because you don't want to download the
Yes.
data.
It was always an open source, and that's why this question, again back to Ishan's question, that now right now GPT-2 is a the model is available as an closed open source model. They cannot make it a closed source. They have to do an update because they have already sent this model everywhere. Everyone has it, so people can still use GPT-2 as a open source model. But the newer version like GPT-3, they have added some extra features on GPT-3 model. Now they have decided, OpenAI has decided to make it a closed source. When I say closed source, we cannot we cannot download GPT-3 at all. You have to use an API key, and not only Hugging Face, also you cannot also use Hugging Face. Hugging Face also does not have GPT-3. You only have to use OpenAI. You have to go to OpenAI website and then create an OpenAI key. You need to put your credit card details. Now they don't give you free access also. You have to put your credit card, then only you get an API key. And in the next master class, we will do this. We will try to access GPT-3. I will give everyone an assignment to enable the OpenAI key. You have to put your credit card information, $5 credit, which I'll give an homework. So that is the thing. This you cannot download in your local. So any question regarding open source, closed source, which is very, very important because many people in the industry will confuse you. That's why I spent 10-20 minutes in this open source, closed source thing for all of you.
So basically, Arshad, if you can download the whole model on your
Yes.
local laptop, your local system, then that
Hmm.
becomes an open model. If you cannot download it, you need API keys, you need to access somebody else's server, and you need to put a payment channel, payment gateway where you use your cards and they can charge you for the tokens you use. That becomes a closed source model, correct?
Yes, very simple example. Yes, this is the one of the most, you can say, non-technical examples I can give you. While you are going ahead with this, I will tell more details, but this is the one of the most basic definition that you told. Ishan is telling API key guarded by paywall in some closed source LLM. So OpenAI has decided to have a paywall. Initially, 1 year back, they used to give a $18 credit free. So you can use an OpenAI by just using an email ID and number. But in the last 1 year, they have no one because of the popularity of OpenAI and ChatGPT. they have removed the free. You need to have your credit card and you need to pay $5 limit. You need to at least minimum have to use the closed source LLM. And mostly all the closed source LLMs are paid. There is nothing for free. And all the closed LLMs like GPT-4, GPT 4.3, and now interestingly, just one
What
question
about
from
Claude 3.5? Arshad?
that is also Cloud 3.5, the latest one. I don't
Yeah,
know
the
about
latest one.
no, that I don't know about the latest one, but Cloud, the one that is showing here, this is an open source. The latest one, I don't know exactly. I not read the paper, but the last one in 2023 June, the Cloud the 3, that was open source. And now coming to one more question that I wanted to tell is, yes, so these things are available. Yeah, I wanted to ask, like Google. Google, most of the Google, if you can see, they have also open sourced. But Gemini, the one that are latest, 2024, the one that are coming out latest, the Gemini models, they are closed source. They have the Google has still not released the weights, because Google is using that Gemini model that we are the Gemini 1.5, the model in their products, in their own Google products. Most of these LLMs that you see from Google, these are all research projects, Palm, GLAN. But right now, the one that they are using for production, the one that if you, I'm sure you all of you are using Google Gemini, Bard, Gemini in the Google search. It is used in their product, so they don't want to share the latest large language model what they're using for their product, so they have kept it closed. So this is the thing, it is up to companies how they are what models they are giving open source. Mostly the models that are for research purposes and for learning, for improvement purposes, and for making it better. Because end of the day, the companies, they release models so that people use it and then give feedback, and then they release a better model. So these are some of the things. So read this. I will share this evolution tree with you whenever anything new
Will
comes.
you be sharing the slides, Arshad?
Yes, I'll be sharing the slide. You should know about the history, right? Because now the trees will keep on growing. So like Ritesh asked me about 3.5. I don't need to. It is good to know, but as one person, I cannot do research about so many things. But the history you should know about the history at least. This is important. New things will keep coming every week. Something or the other is keep coming. That will keep happening. Try to keep yourself updated. We share a newsletter every Monday with the latest things. So I'm going to talk more about Claude 3.5 Sonnet in that paper. So I still have not read it. I'll read it about it in the weekend. But it is good to know what all is happening, so you can connect the dot, and you should know everything that is okay. I'll move to the next slide. Now this is an example of some of the old models, right? Because this was the starting point, and I was telling someone earlier, it started in October 2018 with this first model from Google, and this was BERT, and this is a language understanding model which is mostly used in the search. Like if you go to Google and you search something, right, you will get a response. Let me just if you go to Google and you ask a question, why is it showing Arabic? Who won FIFA 2018? So you will see something that comes up here. This thing, France. So this is not a search result. This is Google BERT in action, where it takes this question that you have asked, and it gives you a one-line sentence output that is very specific to what you have asked. So this has been there in Google from 2018. Many of you have seen this feature, and this is a very first introduction to ChatGPT. So you know about this, right? I think Ishan, if you're using Google for a long time, and people will be, no one will notice this, but when you put a specific question, yeah, this is a starting point of the LLM. So this is coming because this is not a search result, right? This is not an index. This is a text which is giving you something like, if you ask any specific question, how to know your, okay, I don't think this will come because this is very specific. Yeah, this is also how to know your EPF balance. This is an Indian thing. I was just searching for it. It will give me an exact step, and it is actually come, and it will also give me, this is actually giving me a source of the website, but some of them will not give. How to cure acidity at home. So it is giving me a few things, like all these things are a part of the large language model. Now it has improved. 5 years back, 6 years back, it was not that good. It was just giving you a brief of output that is there. So this is one of the things that happened, and Google has taken, and many people were, I'm sure you guys have seen, many people are making fun of this, right? Like they were giving memes of something that has actually not happened. So, but Google has tried to do this for a long time, and they have introduced this. The parameters were less. Mostly it has used its Google database, the search database, and it has trained these models with very less parameters. Uh, I will talk more about parameters. Parameters, just think about parameters as connectors. Like in neural network, there is, if I can just say, so in neural network, there are neurons. Let me just, so these are neural networks, and this is, training happens like this. So this is called one parameter. So every word, every from every neuron, I will not say as a word, there are layers. There are different layers, and from one layer to another layer, they are parameters. So just, we will not go too much technical. My simple thing is, just think about, more the number of parameters, more trained the model is. Training tokens is something like the words. We all know Google has huge set of data, huge set of words. So Google is being used a lot. The number of tokens is a lot for this model to be trained. Yeah, go ahead, Ritesh.
I was just wanting to know the difference between parameters and tokens.
So as I told you, parameters is the layers of trainings. So as I told you, between the, in deep learning network, there are layers. If you can see my screen, this is the, there are multi layers, 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer, and this training, this is one parameter, this is two parameters. So if, depending upon the complexity of the layers and complexity of your the different layers, and every layer is learning from each other, the parameters become better. I will share with you guys after this access workshop. There is a video where explained in details with a diagram how the parameters is calculated. So suppose if there is a simple 4-layer network. I know this is too dark for you guys, but there is a 4-layer network. The number of parameters that have been trained for this neural network will be the total interconnections.
I think, Arshad, you can open a whiteboard. It will be easy to see.
No, I will not explain it because too much technical here. This is just an example. The video that we have done completely talks about this. It is just the connecting layers between every parameter. So if you can see this, I will not, if I keep going in every much, it will take a lot of time. But let me, 1 second. So Mahesh, any questions you have?
No, Arshad, I'm clear on this.
Yes, so let me, okay, let for Ritesh, because I think Ritesh is new, let me just show him this. 1 second. Okay, anyone wants to take a guess what is parameter? What are parameters? Anyone wants to take a guess?
Yeah, those are all the hidden layers, right? In between the input to the output, how many times like H1, H0, and H2, and the different parameters will be there. Those are all the hidden layers as well.
Yes,
But
yes.
which is not visible to the top level. What we can call it, like all the hidden layers, we can call it as a parameter.
Okay. I will, yeah, that is one, the correct thing of showing, and also everyone, I will put in the chat. This is your, after you do this workshop where we are talking about large language model, but this pre-recorded session in our guild community, right, and we'll have everything that we are talking about in details. If you can see my screen once more, yeah. So people like Ritesh has a lot of questions and he's new to this, and in this 2 hours I cannot explain everything because it will go very much in details. We have done this in our previous workshops, a lot of things, but I will, for the people like Ishan, if you're interested to know more in details, and I will give a brief about it, request you to have a look at these things. We understood about this open and closed, but about transformer architecture, what is parameter, what is transformer, what is context, and this is very, very important, and what is token. And this is a 3 minutes video where I tried to explain this, but now if people are interested in parameter, I will just show parameter once. And one diagram will be very good for every one of you to understand in details, like what Mahesh also was telling, right? Parameters. Yeah, so these are the 4 things that I told you everyone needs to know. Yeah, so parameters are also, there is something called as a bias. Bias is an extra, you can say, error in models. I don't want to go in that error part right now. Like in this example here, I will take this example. These are 2 layers. For example, this is just 2 layers, 2 simple layers of our layers, like what Mahesh was telling. So what is the number of parameter? So 3. So it is like permutation and combination. There is, these are 3 and this is 4. And bias is an extra, you can say, the last node of your neural network becomes a bias. So here it is 3. So there are possibility of 12 connectors, and then there is something called as a bias. So I don't, if you want to go in details, then this is the correct formula, number of weights plus bias. Now let me go in this bigger one. So here, so this is the last layer. So here it is going to be 4. This is 1, 2, 3. And if people calculate this, yeah, see, if I'm doing a calculation here, so it is 16 plus 20 plus 4 into 5 and plus 4 and the last. So this total in this 1, 2, so 2 hidden layers is always there. There is one input layer and there is an output layer in any neural network, and then there is a hidden layer that Mahesh was telling. And this is a very simple representation of parameters. So this particular model that you are seeing, a very simple input layer with 3 input and 1 output and 4 and 2 hidden layers, that is of 4 points or we have, or 4 we can say nodes in this neural network, we call it nodes. So total there are 3 inputs, 1 output, and there are 2 hidden layers with 4 nodes. This is, we are getting as 41, and this is the real mathematical calculation. And now going back to our slide, here we have 110 million parameters in the neural network in the model that they have trained. I think you cannot see my screen. So now you're able to understand a little bit, Mahesh, and sorry, Ritesh.
Yes.
So in a very simple non-technical definition, I tell people that think about more the parameters, more stronger and more trained the model is. So here it is 110 million. So you will see it is not that strong compared to the other ones. Other one goes into billions, but still, if you want to compare in non-technical terms, it is more the parameters, more deep, more the hidden layers are there. More hidden layers, the one that I showed in the diagram, more stronger your model is. So this is one way, right, of making sure that a model is good. The second way is to make sure that the words are more, the data is more. So there are only two ways to make a model good. One way is to train the model with very heavy and better parameters, and the second way is to give lot of words. So initially Google had tried because it was they needed to run this model on every Google search. So that's why they had kept sure that the parameters are low, because it is, you can say, economically viable to have a smaller model do the work for you. But then we had our hero, OpenAI, our hero who came in with lot of investments, 175 billion. This is like huge. This took almost 12 days of training, and one run, approximately in some papers they have released, one run took $20 million for one run of this model. Why? Because of this 175 billion. How much is 175 billion? It is one so approximately 10,000 times more than this. 10,000 times more powerful than this. So this is what risk they took. OpenAI took this risk, and after that, because of this, Google also had to do something. So they increased it to 70 billion, and they increased the words tokens 4 trillion, and this was in April 2022 by Chinchilla. And then again, this is the one of the most powerful initially. Right now Gemini is more powerful. Then they had increased both. They had increased the training tokens and the parameters. So this is what, and right now everyone is competing on these two things. Every company is trying to increase the number of parameters and increasing training tokens. So tokens is just words. If you just think words, more the words, more the data that is there. Any questions in this parameter token and the objectives of these companies? Ishan, clear? I know for you it will be a little bit too much parameters and all, but just think about it as stronger the model, stronger, more power to the model. Ritesh, all clear? Shall we move ahead?
Clear.
Cool. So now we will look. This is there. These are the most four. Why I showed these four? Because these tried to play around with both the combinations, and then they were doing very well. And now it is history. Right now, companies are coming with both more and more powerful. Now, how does this LLM work? So we saw about little bit history about some of the big players that are there. Okay, Rekha is asking. Rekha, I request you please put it on the main chat so everyone can see your question. So Rekha is asking, is data dictionary built? No, so data dictionary is different. Data dictionary is different. Data dictionary is like in our data science projects, in our analysis, we create, our humans create data dictionaries, like the country, like all the country name, the capital, the city, and everything. That is a dictionary that humans create for data projects and data analysis projects. Tokens, think about tokens as there is a internet, Wikipedia, there are a lot of words. People take the data from Wikipedia or all these places, scrap the data, and every word, like suppose once upon a time, once is stored as one token, upon is stored as another token, a is stored as another token, and they save these tokens, and then they do processing, which we will talk later about. But that is created by the program about the text that you are giving, and accordingly. But dictionary is something that manually is created for projects and everything. So I think Ritesh has shared this paper. Yeah, thank you for this. And this is one of the things that I request people also to read. Attention is all you need. Paper. I hope Rekha, your question is clear. Now, how does LLM work? This is very important thing to understand, that even Google, right? Google had lot of data, and it was very easy for Google to start working on this. Think about it. There are some pre-training steps that happen for these large language models to work. So what are these pre-training steps? Whenever we ask a question to ChatGPT, like we asked this question today, Ishan and Ritesh were trying, what is Tesla, what is Apple? This input will go to a language model. So what is a language model? Just think about it as collection. Yes, I will just come to your question. LLM can help in that. So what is this? That language, initially we have tokens, as I mentioned. Once upon a time, there is initially what the model does, it gives random weights. Random is something like, just it gives any weights to the they don't have any knowledge about Apple, about what is Tesla. It is just a collection of thousands and millions of words without any knowledge. That is the initial way it starts. And then whenever uh, you want an output to come out of this particular thing, you let me just complete this, then I will take the questions. Let me just finish this section, Ritesh, so that we will then you will be able to understand this. So this is a pre-training step. Initially, the language model has no proper knowledge and learning. It is just a collection of words. The output that you will get is not that good. Like you saw initially in our example of GPT-2, the output was not that great. It was okay, but initially, if you don't have any weights, any trainings, then the output will be just very random, and it will be a completion that is very random. So that what happens now is, before the training, this is the pre-training step. So training happens, and this is how it changes the things that are very important. So the training happens, and then this pre-trained model gets better and better. uh, how? Now they have knowledge from different, exact knowledge from books and articles and websites. Initially what they do, they collect all the words, they correct all the words and the occurrences, how many times once has come, how many times upon, all the tokens are together, they don't have any sequence, nothing. But after that, the training happens with specific books, articles, websites that are very structured. And then uh, this keeps changing. These data sets keep changing, and I will show you in more details. And then these models get better and better to understand that once upon a time, after that will come once upon, then the next word will come time, because many times once upon was being used. So this is the way these large language models learn from the patterns that are there and becomes better. So this is a very basic overview of how these training models are work. I'll just repeat before I take question. First, we have all the data, like Google has all the data of words, tokens, and that is not giving us any output. Those words and tokens are learned, they are fed from using neural network, deep neural network. They are given examples like once upon a, then the next probable word that is going to come from the historical data, that is from the patterns, it is going to be time. It is going to be time. The probability of the word time going to come is going to be very high. So this is how they complete the sequence, and then they go to the next sequence. So this is a very bird eye view of how it is trained. And if there are any questions, Ritesh, you are raising your hands. Yeah, please go ahead.
My question was regarding weights. These weights are normally probabilities we're talking about.
You can say probabilities. You initially you can say it is. I will not go into probability exactly, or you can. It can be used interchangeably, but initially, when I talk about random weights, it is assigned a random weight or for every word, and then that random weight becomes better. Weight and probability statistically, it is a very different thing. Probability is a mathematical concept that is being used to determine the weights. So it is not a probability is a concept. It is like a mathematical technique that is helped to derive at a particular way. People use probability very much interchangeably with weights, but probability is, as we all know, a very simple formula of probability is desired outcome by total outcome. Right?
Correct.
That is being used mathematically to get to random weights are assigned. So the first thing, these are random weights. So here the computer, the machine, the algorithm assigns random weights like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. And then accordingly, once they see new models, right? What is neural network? Neural network is it is your the data sets, the random data sets is being shown in very simple English terms. Is think about these models, these neural network and everything. Why we are showing brains is like a child. When a child reads or sees, I give an example to everyone. Like, how does a child learn to know whether a particular photo is of a cat or a dog? They are being told multiple times by the parents, right? They see a photo, they say the parents will show them the photo. For the child, that photo is nothing. That does not. It is a random image for the child, but the parents tell them that this is a cat. Then thousands of images are shown to the child. I'm giving an example. Then the child, whenever it sees a real cat, it identifies that it is a cat. Because why? Because the parent or the teacher or whoever, they have fed the child that this photo is of a cat, or this is a cat. So then now whenever the child sees a new cat, it remembers. And neural network is a very, the way it has been trained, it has been trained like the brains. Whenever a brain sees a new thing, it creates patterns, and it is the mind remembers that the features of a cat, the husk, the face, the fur. So these are some patterns and attributes that your brain registers through these neural networks. So this is a very basic understanding, but you just think about that. This is eventually deep learning and neural, whatever we are studying right now, it has been, you can say, inspired by the brains. Everything that we are studying right now, neural network and deep learning, scientists have learned how does a human learn, how does a human see a new object and know whether it is a xyz, or whether it is a cat or a dog. Similarly for text, our mind has seen multiple times was once upon a time. So it has, after once upon, always time comes, the probability of time coming is a lot. So I'll just show one more example, so that this is one simple example that I show people, like you were asking about probability. So whenever a word happens, like you put chat GPT dash uh, and the word that comes next. So probably what happens eventually when they try to do a completion or try to fill something, it sees what is from the vast amount of data, how many times chat gpt predicts missing word or generate text. So predict, the chances of predict coming is very high, and that is why the output that chat gpt will give you is that chat gpt predicts. And the other ones, assist, generate, complete, suggest, they are very less. So this is the one that is most probable to come, the word that is most probable to come eventually. That is what the LLM, the large language model, takes out. How it does this? It does it through lot of trainings, lot of learning that we just showed from different dictionaries. Okay, now any questions in this? Yeah, go ahead, Ritesh.
Yeah, so what it predicts might not be right also. Because if you look at prediction, that in that particular example, it should be generates, right? Not predicts.
It's, but yeah, that is correct. According to you, it should be generates. But why not
Hmm.
predicts? If for 75% of the people feel it should be predicts according to the whole vast data. That is why we say that chat gpt or gemini, they can never be 100% accurate, right? It depends upon
Yes.
historically how many times people have used. So you feel generates can be correct, and it's subjective, right? Someone else, anyone else, what do you feel should come here? According to Ritesh, it should be generates. Chat GPT predicts missing words or generate text, or what should it be? This is just an illustration. This is not exact numbers, but it can be anything. It can be completes, it can be suggests, it can be predicts, is something that comes the most. Okay, so I will show you one more example about this, then you will be more understanding here. This is an example of one of the open source models. When I talk about data sets, a lot of data sets are being used to train the model. If I take one example, what are the data sets, right? This is basic examples. Llama 2 is one of the best open source models that are available. And this is the data that they are using for it to train. So 7 data sources are there, and these are the descriptions. You can have a quick look. Proportion is, if you add up everything, it is going to be 100%. Common crawl is the maximum, followed by C4, and GitHub is for code. Wikipedia, we all know. Wikipedia, and why, let me just slide this here. Then we have, anyone knows what is archive? Anyone has, I think Mahesh, you know about archive, right?
Yes, sure, sir. Yeah.
So this is for research papers. So I
Yes.
think, Ritesh, the one that you shared, all the research papers are mostly, they are published in archive, and it is a very important. So Stack Exchange is, right now it is losing its hype. It's, you can say it's a popularity. But before Chat GPT, it was technical. It was coder's paradise. Any question regarding coding, regarding any problems, everyone is to go to Stack Exchange. Okay, so this is the sample proportion. Anyone knows what is epoch? Anyone knows what is an epoch here? Anyone wants to try to answer what is an epoch?
Epoch is one training, or one training duration, one training run, one episode of training.
Yeah, one episode of training. Anyone else wants to try? Safni, Namrata, Mahesh. Mahesh, I'm sure you have heard multiple times.
Yes.
Okay, so I will repeat. So the word correct, you told a non-technical word, it is correct, but just if I want to simply explain that, 1.1 and 1.06, it means, in non-technical terms, is that the Llama 2 model was trained, uh, in which the model was shown the complete common crawl data set. They had, we call it forward propagation. So the data learned from start to end, and then they had backward propagation, the whole one complete cycle. So if I say in simple English, and the model's benchmark is to at least have shown the model the complete data set, that is of common crawl, at least once completely. So what it means, that 1.1 times it has seen the whole common crawl data, and then it has completed the whole cycle of understanding the whole data and understanding the whole pattern. Similarly for C4, for GitHub, it could not do, because Microsoft had taken over, and after that it closed the lot of repositories which was private and people could not see. So that's why GitHub is not that, it's not complete. But other than that, if you see, Wikipedia is the highest, because as we all know, Wikipedia is one source of truth, not 100%, but at least it tries to be the best, right? Even us, if we all want to go right now and in internet and see correct information, where will you go and check? I just want to know from the chat, or you want to unmute and speak, then that will also be great. If you want to know the source of truth, where will you go and check? Ritesh, Rekha, anyone wants to take a guess, or put in the chat, Ishan. So yeah, Google BERT is one thing that you will do, but one thing that people think it is source of truth, right? Like you are convinced, like in our generation, and also I don't know about the young generation, you are saying Google
How
BERT,
can
but
you have this source of truth, Arshad? It's all generated data by somebody. I mean, you can say facts. Facts are there. But yeah, scientific papers, that's what we take. Some reference points are there. But it's all perspective. In internet, mostly things are perspectives, right?
yeah, but accordingly, what if you want information about any topic, any thing, Google is not it can show up any website. There is a trust factor. Like if you are from the 90s and 20s when you internet started, Wikipedia was is a open source platform that is being reviewed and edited. I'm not saying most trusted right now, but it is trusted. Like for us, for me specifically, if I want to look at any information about any topic, we all know that internet there is a lot of fake information, lot of marketing thing happens. A lot of people have a very different view of things, but for me, Wikipedia is one place where I can at least have little bit trust. And if I don't trust also, if I feel there is some discrepancies, then I can always uh, send a request to the that particular page that I need to make an edit, and this is the so everyone can become like a reviewer of that and make sure that the information is correct. So now, as Ritesh is telling, there is no source of truth. Source of truth here is facts. What are the facts according, and what can be trusted? Because 80% of the internet you cannot trust, right? Even there are so many, even for education, there are so many ways people are just mis-selling a lot of things. Even AI, today only has a discussion, AI is also being mis-sold by so many influencers in a wrong way. So we cannot understand which website, other than few big websites. Like Google is not a website, Google is just a collection of websites, but Wikipedia is a lot reviewed. Archive also, the research papers that come, which is only scientific papers, but facts and news is Wikipedia. And that is why, not only what I think, but the Llama 2 engineers also, that's why they have given extra training on Wikipedia to make sure that whatever is being trained, Wikipedia covers it the most. And that is why Llama 2 is a little bit strong as well. And then we have Stack Exchange and we have Archive. Okay. Any questions in this data source, sampling proportion, and epoch? No questions? Okay, so now I want to say, now we have seen how GPT-2, GPT, all these models are working. Now we will see what powers these models, right? What powers these models? What powers these models? As I was telling you one example, that GPT, these models took $20 million to train. Running time of the CPUs, it had lot of NVIDIA A1000 GPUs used to run these accelerators. Now, many of you have seen the video about GPUs, right? Anyone wants to give a definition about GPU? Like we had done this in our first master class also about GPUs. Anyone wants to talk about it? Mahesh, Ishan, Safni, Namrata. Namrata, you're not speaking today. You're on mute. full time. You want to tell what is GPU? Okay, Ritesh, you want to give a go? What is GPU? That is your
Uh, Graphical processing interface. Interface. Maybe.
graphical processing unit. GPU is this. This is something we have done in our previous master class. We talked about why the LLMs and these people are talking about this nowadays a lot because of the GPUs. What does GPU do is that it does multiple processing very fast, and that is, and for large language model you saw 150 billion parameters. Neural networks, they need to do so many permutation and combination, so you need a lot of GPUs and you need a lot of money. And companies like OpenAI and these big companies have a lot of money. That's why they are able to train these models. And you can see one photo, and this is from one of the server rooms, which has so many. It just I want to show you guys because you should understand that there is a lot of power, lot of energy, lot of money being used to create all these things. And now I will show you one demo about these large language models, how it is working. And you will see the difference about this model. I'll just play this video. What is this? We are using a playground. Today we are also going to deep dive into playground after this, and to say how we can generate and understand these things. So here we are using a very basic model, DaVinci 002. This is a GPT-2 variant, and I'm asking it to give me a shopping list. And you should expect a shopping list from these GPT-2 models, but you are not getting anything. You are getting just a completion, like we showed in our previous GPT, in our previous demo that Ishan and you were trying. So you will not get a proper output. What we will do is we will try to give more examples. Like we are going to give a shop, we want to create a shopping list. We will give some more examples about uh, more few short examples. When I say few short, you're giving the prompt examples like I want a shopping list, like with giving a colon and giving one list. Like I'm giving here banana, and I wanted to complete it. Like I want to give it a grocery shopping list pattern of it, but still it is giving me. It is not giving me a proper. It is just giving me a menu list of a particular ingredients, list of a particular thing. So this is still not working. We want to give more examples. So what I'm trying to say, if the model is not properly trained, how much ever example you give it, like here I'm giving an example, this is only fruit. Now this is only vegetable. I want to at least give a completion. Still it is giving me crap. And this is after spending so much parameters, so much words, still the models are not giving us proper outputs. And you keep trying this thing, you will not be able to do it. So that is why the how what really changed these large language model, because this, if anyone gives you this model, you will not be able to you do anything with this model because you are seeing the output, it is crap. So what actually changed, and what actually changed, and how these LLMs, like large language model, how you are making them follow an instruction. Like you wanted to generate a shopping list for your grocery. If you just use the LLM that we have used trained before, you will not be getting a proper output, which is you just saw an example. So that is what we will try to see in the next few slides. Is this paper? This is what started ChatGPT in 2022 March. OpenAI, they released this paper that training language model to follow instructions with human feedback. So this is very, 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 very important, right? How you can use large language model, how you can use large language model and give it a human feedback. That is what we say reinforcement learning with human feedback, that gives the model an instruction. And still till now, this paper that was released in March 2022 is an industry standard for companies to make their models listen to the instructions that a person is trying to give. Like I want to generate a grocery list. How my model is going to respond accordingly is very, very important, which we will see in this paper that was released in 2022. So if you know this paper, and this, there are, it's a 67 pages paper, and I will put a link also of this paper for people to learn more. But two components are very, very important in this particular thing. Some of the words that I'm using here, if we have seen the first masterclass video, generative AI for busy people, you will be able to understand about these terminologies more. Supervised fine tuning, still everything, technology is moving so far, but supervised fine tuning is still being used. When I say supervised fine tuning, you are giving instructions. So you have a label, you are telling that this is what you need to do, and we'll talk more about this in the example. But still now there is a lot of human intervention in these models initially. Why it took OpenAI 5 to 6 years to develop this is because of these supervised fine tuning models that are there. And then we have something called as an RLHF, reinforcement learning from human feedback. These are the two components that are very, very important in this paper that has made the large language model to actually follow your instruction. So that this paper, if you remember, when ChatGPT was first launched in November 2022, there was a paper that people used to talk, how is it able to understand human language so well? And there were three important steps that happened. So before I go to the steps, anyone has any questions? I know this is too much information, but anyone has any questions before I go in details about the steps
What is
about
the
this
difference
instruction?
between, Arshad, what is the difference between reinforced learning and supervised learning?
Okay, so there is, yes. So the let me go here. So you're asking the difference. So here, supervised learning is you just give a label, right? Like you give 2,000 images. You tell the in the 2,000 images, 1,000 images is of a cat, and 1,000 images is of a dog. This is fed into the model, and then there is a supervised fine tuning where there is labels, and the system, the model understands that this is a 2,000, these are images of a cat, these are dogs. They understand from these labels, and then you get a new image. Then from this model they will learn and they will understand, and they are going to tell whether it is a dog or a cat. So this is supervised fine tuning here. But RLHF is reinforcement learning. Here what happens, that this is like uh, a very simple example is that here there is a reward system. If you are the it is self, you can say it's not self learning, but this you are making the learning. I will show an example when I'm talking about the steps. Whenever you are giving a correct uh, output, you will be getting a reward, and whenever you are giving a wrong output, you will be getting a penalty. And this happens, one very simple example of reinforcement learning. Initially it started in self-driving cars. So from point A to point B, from point A to point B, this is the correct path. If the car follows this path, it is going to get rewards. If it goes to the wrong path, it will get risk, and there is an assessment every second that whether the points are increasing or decreasing. If it feels it is decreasing, it understands that it is going in the wrong path, then it is going to come back in the correct path. So this is the way this reinforcement, very simple way it happens. It started with self-driving cars, but now it is, in the example that I will tell you, you will get more detailed example of how it actually works in this system. I'll just get some water. Huh? Any more questions now? I will share with you one video link, Ritesh. I made one very good workshop. I think I think so 1 2 months back. Generative AI for busy people. In that, I have explained little bit about the different types of learnings. There is one supervised learning. You know about supervised and unsupervised learning, and then the third one is reinforcement learning, which is the reward and risk method. Like the machine here in supervised and unsupervised, you don't control the model, but in reinforcement learning, you control the model to, and you give the model the benefit to create better outputs. And that is how
Yeah,
self-driving car works.
basically the first one is uh, you put data sets and you make them understand the patterns also.
Yes.
The second one might be that you are understanding the errors and telling it that this is the error, go ahead and change it. This is less error, so the ones with the less error, their weights automatically change.
Yes, in simple terms, yes, in while the learning process happens, like, so it is a combination, right? So I will just give an example. I will share you this video maybe in the chat, and if anyone in the room can share, we can do it, but I will do it as well offline, as this is, it explains the different forms. And this paper that OpenAI is using right now, it is a combination of both. So it is doing, any model, it's always you have to give, you cannot expect it to learn by itself. You need to give some labels, right? You need to tell that something, you need to give a, we call it ground truth. And then super reinforcement learning, it understands from this pattern and makes it better, and improves that, tries to improve the accuracy. And there is something again which is very important in I did not add this here, is human feedback. So reinforcement learning has been used in self-driving cars, but RLHF is reinforcement learning with human feedback, which we will see an example that a human is involved. And just wanted to give a context to everyone in this call, that you think that chat GPT is it is a tool, has we are using this tool. It took a lot of time and energy to make this happen. It took almost, any guesses how, what was the team size, not on the real company, but the total team size that was indirectly or indirectly involved in creating the first chat GPT? Anyone in the chat wants to take the guess? How many people are involved in creating the first chat GPT that all of us are using a lot nowadays? Ritesh is telling 800. I'm telling yes, 800 is not the correct number. The correct, if you see the papers and if you see, there are a lot of manual work that has been done, and they had hired temporary resources. We call it as a labelers. So this is a word that you will always not, no one will tell you in public so much, but this is a labelers, people who label the data manually, look and see the data and tell whether it is correct or wrong. So approximately over the course of 6 years, they had hired 100K contract workers to do this work. So there is so huge, you can say, manual work that has been done to make sure what we are using is what we are using right now. And when this was launched, so Rekha is telling correct. So Rekha, you know about this, Amazon, Google, and you will not be surprised, Rekha, like Meta, the videos that you are putting on Meta, the AI is looking at the video for policy control and everything, but at the back end also there are a lot of humans who look at all the videos you upload manually. 50%, right? This was around 2 3 years, 2 years back. 50% of the videos that we upload, there is a Facebook team in India or who looks manually at those videos to see whether there is any adult content or is there any harmful content, and it flags it. And then this is done, and AI is helping it, but the humans are also looking at it and labeling it to make sure that the AI model, suppose an AI model tells that this is not adult content, this is not hurting religious sentiment, but actually it is doing it from the video, like sarcastically it is doing it, then the AI is telling no, but the human is telling yes. and this data is fed into the system, and it relearns and it becomes better. But actually, a person is doing it, and there is a lot of plus things. Lot of, I don't want to go into the politics of this, but there are a lot of pressure from the government also to allow few things and not to few things. So there is a human judgment always involved in these things. An AI will tell that this is he hurting a religious sentiment, but because of the pressure from outside, they will say no, it's okay, allow it, because of some bigger things that is coming from the top, right? So these things happen in elections, manipulations happen, which we don't want to go into details because this is a educational web master class. So now we will focus on how things happen. But just to give you a guys a background, all of you here who talk to professionals and think that AI is a magic, tell them that no, there is lot of money, lot of energy, lot of people involved to make this happen. So at least understand what is happening and respect it, and go a little bit in more details about how it really happens. And this is the first step that I'm showing you, supervised fine tuning. It is I'm just giving one prompt. So there are billions of prompts, but this is one prompt. This is a prompt is sampled from our prompt data set. So this is one prompt: explain the moon landing to a 6-year-old person. Then collect. So this the LLM, initially a person will give this output, will give this prompt. The large language model will give you multiple options, like these are the options that are there. Then what happens, some output will be like the way the person has asked this question: who is the first person to land on the moon? Neil Armstrong. Which year did he land? What was the details? So there will be multiple outputs. Then a labeler will label each output. Like suppose I will show you one template also how they do it. Like suppose one output is very good, so he'll give them 10 points. One output is not good, he'll give him 9. Accordingly, for every type of prompt that a human can ask, uh, this is one example. There are billions of this. One person will review it and he will mark it. This data that is there, labeler data, is fed, is used to fine tune. Now this word is coming fine tune. So the previous GPT-2 model that you saw was just random weights, but now this particular thing is going to train it better from these label information that a person is asking. And this is the first step of doing it. There are billions of words. A human cannot do all the billion words. It will maximum do 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. But this same learning that is happening here will go to the next step. The next step is reward models. So here there is a little bit of reinforcement learning happening. The reward model system that is happening. A prompt, like suppose the same example that I gave you, explain the moon landing to a 6-year-old. What happens now? The comparison happens, and the best output will get a reward. So now the machine knows that A is the best output. Like suppose in this case, you are seeing there are actually there are hundreds of outputs that comes from here. But for example, there are 4 outputs that are here in front of them that the person gets out of the 100. Suppose the labeler gets 4 outputs, A, B, C, D, of explain the moon to a 6-year-old. The labeler ranks the output from best to worst. So here D, C, A, and then B is the suppose the D is the best, C, then A, and then B. And now this is fed. So D will get the most reward, C will get slightly less, A will get slightly less, and B will get uh, very less, so comparatively. And then this data is used to train our reward model. So these are the 2 steps that are happening. And then the third step will make things clear. Before to go to the third step, just to show you an example of how it works. This is an image. Suppose this is an image that is being shown to a model, and then it asks it to summarize the following news article. So this is a image of a parrot, and the LLM will understand this image, what it is talking about, and it will talk about this prompt for fine-tuned model. Summarize this. This is an example that I'm taking. the LLM is going to generate 5 different summary outputs. So this 5 different summary outputs will be shown, and this image will be shown, the output will be shown, and then this instruction template will be in front of the labeler. So the labeler will see this output, which will be coming in the next screen. It is going to give it a rating between 1 to 7, 7 being the best, and it is going to give them these criterias of labeling. Fails to follow correct instructions. So these are 7. This is an actual work that the labeler is doing, the employee is doing for every prompt that is showing, and this is their you can say a feedback form that they fill. There are 8 questions, and then there is an overall ranking system for every output. This output is fed. Now example of this output, like this is the thing that they are shown. For that same example that I showed about 2 parrots. So this is the output. If you can see in details, these are the some of the things that are shown like this. In United States has found that this is talking about the parrot, this is talking so about some of the things of the parrot. So you will read this and you will see which is the most closest to this particular thing, and then you are accordingly in the last diagram I showed you, you are going to give a ranking. So for this you are going to fill this this part. For every output you are going to fill this particular summary sheet, and accordingly this data is stored, and whenever a person now asks this question, he will be getting a specific output. And this is how it does. And in the last, taking everything together, the supervised learning, the reward model, all the inputs, now optimizing this particular, we call it a policy, because here we have a special instruction. Like this is actually more weightage is going to be given to the human work, like what is a human telling, and not only one label, one person is doing the same output. The one that I showed you, this is been doing by multiple, at least 100 labelers are doing the same thing, so that not to keep any bias. So to make sure that it is going to keep it unbiased, because one person will have a specific bias. That's why they do it with multiple people. And then whenever a new prompt is sampled from the data set, the policy generates an output. So when I say policy, the thing that we have done before, we call it proximity principle optimization, PPO. And then this reward model that gets generated, that is extra from the large language model that we have shown in the earlier slides, and it gives a special instruction, and this reiterates every time to get a better output that is there. So these 3 steps make sure that the GPT model, the open source or any large language model is becoming better. It is getting more stronger and more, you can say, instruct worthy. So now we will see, we are using one model here. If you can see my screen, GPT-2 Turbo. So GPT-2 3.5 Turbo has followed everything that I have showed you, and then you will see this video quickly, and then you will see the power of this model. So it is creating a list. Now you're using GPT 3.4 Turbo, which has followed these 3 principles. Now you are asking the same question that I showed you earlier. Now you will see create a shopping list, and then you will just do submit. Now you will get a proper list of things, because it has learned from everything that we have showed you, the 3 steps. It has done a lot of reward systems in place, and that is why from GPT-3, GPT-2, we have some turbo models or instruct models that now we are using. But we should appreciate how much work has been done to get here, and a lot of manual work and a lot of intervention and a lot of machine learning, deep learning has been used to see what we are seeing right now, that is there. So this is the feedback. This is the and it gets better and better as we see right now. Right now we have GPT 4.5 Turbo, which is much better than 3.5. But these are some of the things that we want to go. So now, before I take questions, I want to quickly show you guys playground, because this is very important. For we have 13 minutes, so I will quickly show you guys playground, and then in the next workshop, we are going to masterclass, we're going to talk in details about the parameters that we have to go. So, okay, this is playground.com. What I have done, OpenAI, OpenAI.com. So they keep changing their website. Research. One second. OpenAI Playground. Yeah, OpenAI platform. So I'll put this link in the chat. They keep changing their websites. So this is it, login. So you log into this website, and this is one of the first, you can say, interfaces for you to understand the power of LLMs. Things have changed a lot and it keeps changing. So right now, as our Ritesh was talking about latest model, GPT 4.0, it is there. And before, you can see there was a lot of models. The one that I showed you in the video that was shot 1 year back, there was DaVinci. There is no DaVinci now. So now you will not be able to understand the differences. So that video was very good video that I took to show you the power between a non-fine instruct model and a instruct model. So now most of the models that you see are all instruct models, turbo. So you will not see the power of it, but it was a good learning experience for you to do. So from here you can select the model. So there is a chat, assistant, and completion. You select the model here. Temperature. Anyone wants to take a guess what is the temperature? I know you guys are tired, but you want to take a guess what is temperature? I know Mahesh, you know about it. Anyone wants to take a guess what is temperature? You know what is it, Ritesh?
No.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone in the chat if you want to put Namrata, Safni? Okay, how many of you have used Copilot here? Microsoft Copilot.
I have used.
Okay, so if I go to Bing chat, Copilot. So you will see something here. You will see something here. More creative, more balanced, more precise. What is this? You will see
It
an option,
depends
right?
on what kind of answer you want. You want exact, you want balanced, or you want a little extraordinary, innovative answer.
So the same thought that you are telling, is called temperature. In other words, creativity. The same thing that you are saying, if the temperature is less, it means it is more precise. Okay? It is like exact. It doesn't want to become creative. If the temperature is 1, it is very creative. And if it is 0.5, it is balanced. So we have that option to, in ChatGPT, we don't have the option to do it. But in Copilot, they have given us this option. That's why I prefer professionally to use Copilot more than ChatGPT. Got it, Ishan? Mahesh, Namrata? Very simple example. In the next master class, I'm going to go in details about temperature and other things, but this is a very simple introduction to temperature. So coming to this, okay. So now we have Copilot. So now for all of you, the homework for this before you go to the next class is go to platform.openai. I have put in the chat. Explore this. Like this is it. Yes. So this is the temperature. Right now we are kept it as 1 creative. You can make it 0.5. You can change it. Token is something that the number of words that you want the output to get. Top P, frequency, presence. We will talk in the next class about what are these parameters. So what we can do system instruction is we can ask like this, you are a Python bot, Python training bot. So this is a system instruction. You will only answer Python related questions. So this is a Python bot. So I don't want it to be creative. I want the temperature to be 0 because I just want answers coming from Python. You will not, you will only answer Python related questions. This is my system instructions. And now this is always going to be there and you can make it better. And your homework for everyone here is try to make this bot as better as possible, right? Try to make a Python sys training bot, try to write more instructions and try to create a bot like this. Like then you ask a question about what is Python, you should get answer about the let me input here programming, because then again programming, because we all know that Python is also a snake. So this is my system instruction and this is my thing. Now user is asking what is Python. Okay, so now you are getting, so everything ready. So you are getting this question about, now you are getting about Python. What write a code to generate Fibonacci. Fibonacci is that series 1 2 3 4 5 5 3 2 1. So it is giving us the code. So let me play around with this. What where is Delhi? Can you see what happened right now? So this is what a chatbot will do. So the way you give instructions, you make any chatbot for your company, for your use case, the way you do the prompt here, because we in a Python bot, you don't want it to answer about where is Delhi, right? So this is the power of this bot. We have 5 minutes. Any questions related to today's class, I will take it. But homework for everyone is to go to this playground, create a bot like this, write more instructions, and then try to play around with these parameters. You can read about these parameters here, but I will explain in the next master class more about these parameters, and then how to get this, understand more about this, how to make it better, and then how to take the code out of this and run it in Python as well. So now I will take questions. So Ritesh, I will, yeah, so this is a part of this AI residency. So this class, one class we give people to get a hang of it. We give access to see how it works. So every classes happen every week. So this is today is the third master class. So I had shared you earlier also about AI residency. So AI residency, this is a part of the AI residency. For people who want to try out these master classes, we give them access for a small fee that you were talking about today. But all the students here are a part of the AI residency who are learning with us from almost 1.5 months about Python, about everything, step by step. And this is our master class. The next master class is going to happen on same Saturday, and so next we are going to know, I think I have updated it. Fast API we have already covered. So next we are going to talk about generative AI configuration. So today we introduced introduction to LLM, how it works, and we got introduction to playground. Then we will go next week, fourth class, we will go into generative AI configuration. In the next class, we're going to go into what is configuration. Configuration is these things. And this is very, very important for any chatbot, because everyone will no one tells you in details about these things. We will go into details about these configurations, because every large language model, these configurations are very, very important. Okay. And Okay, the link is here. I have already shared the link before to you. Any more questions regarding today's class? Regarding today's, I will share this, so everyone who are what I'm going to do, I request all of you, I will stay back for 10-15 minutes. If you have any questions from the residence program for the from the access and everything, Ishan, just try to run the code yourself now. It should work because 2 hours is done. I will stay in the call for 15 minutes. We can clear all the doubts. Some of you could not join on manage day because of your because of it was Eid holidays and all. I will stay here for 15-20 minutes and I will take your questions, and that is there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload this recording here, and there are two very simple assignments. You're clear, huh? Ishan, you're clear? Everything clear? Is the code running now? Is it running? Let me know if the code is running or not with your new token. I want to check it. So masterclass 3, it worked. That is great. So masterclass 3 will come here. I have kept a very simple assignment. 2 assignments I want all of you to do. One is, I will put it there also. Go through this recording, because today I gave you a very good picture about LLM parameters, about context. Context is basically the question that you're giving, right? That is called context. Tokens is the words. Transformer is the architecture that works behind it. So have a look at this LLM video. It is approximately 2 hours total, and it will give you a very good idea. And there are 2 workshops. This is up to you to look at the workshops, but I will talk a little bit more about it in the future. And then the assignment to do the playground. So that is what you can do. And by evening, the team is going to upload the video here. And then what we are going to do is, that is it. So these are the videos that I request all of you to see how LLM works. The same video, I will update it, the one that is there. I have to update this one. Yeah. So this is what I have to update. I have to update these things. I will do it. But as I told you, this academy is mostly for very specific videos. But the AI Guild, that all of you are part of AI Guild, even Ritesh is a part of AI Guild. He will be getting this particular thing.
Arshad, the recording of the course, what we did today, will it be available, accessible to us? Since we are not part of the residency code.
I can do one-off case for you. I do a one-off case for you. I can put it in Google Drive. But this academy, this you will not have that. I can do. Just get in touch with me as a one-off case because you requested me. I will give you.
Yeah, me and Rekha would want to.
Yeah, I will put it on Google Drive. Just remind me, maybe by Sunday or Monday. I'll tell the team to put it on Google Drive, copy it, and then just keep it with yourself. Huh?
Sure.
And that is it. Any other questions regarding today's class? And specifically from the residents, you have any questions regarding? I'm sure most of you have done this Gradio chat assignment is already done. Every one of you has done. Namrata has done it. Safni, you have done it. Mahesh, Safni also Mahesh has confirmed. Safni, Safni has done it, I think. She had attended the last class. Yeah, Mahesh, tell me. Is it working for you now?
No, for me it is working. I don't.
Okay. You're able to connect all the dots, right? You're able to connect all the dots that we are trying to do step by step. That is very important, right? Content is there. Yeah, okay, cool, Ishan. If you don't have any questions, I'll just stay here for 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes for any questions from the people who are here. So this is step by step we want to go. Content is there, but we need to go step by step and connect all the dots and start building. In yesterday's workshop, many of you did not attend. Some of you attended. We went directly to the 7th class, 7th and 8th module. So some people had a fair understanding about it, but we will go step by step. Now today we understood about LLM. I know it is very theoretical. And one more thing I wanted to tell, Yeah, you can do that. You can do that playground thing. One thing also, I am recording one course for some of you in the cohort requested me to do that. And I'm recording this program, and you have a look at it. It is for people who are interested. This is something that I'm still recording. This one. So this is for the residents. I will be giving a free access for the residents, AI residents, but still it is recording. That's why I'm not given you, where I have gone in little bit details. What is neural network? How do neural networks learn? Because right now we saw it very overview picture, but if you want to go, as I told you, it works as the brain neurons work, right? The dendroids from one neuron to other neuron. So I have tried to do an explanatory video. I have taken the help of a lot of resources available online, and I have tried to put everything together. This is not mandatory. Goes very much technical and very much detailed, but I will share it for people who are interested, like Ishan and this thing. Do we need to have payment details for playground? Yeah, I think you need to.
Yes, you need to.
Yeah, I think you need to. Namrata, can you share your screen? Then let me see what is it showing for you. If you want to share your screen once. I think for April, right before it was free access, but now you need an API key. Yeah, go ahead, Namrata. You're doing it first time, right? Yeah, can you go to that website? Okay. You have reached your usage limit. So are you doing this first time? You can unmute, Namrata.
Yeah, yes, I'm doing it the first time.
Can you go to your name on the right hand side? Everyone here, Ishan is there? Ishan left. Okay, I had to do this. I had to tell you guys before. Yeah. Go to your profile. Go to billing. Yeah, you need to see now. Before they used to give us they started the $18 credit, then they reduce it to $5. Now it is $0. So what you need to do is add a payment detail and make a limit. So this is very important, everyone. Add a payment detail, your credit card, and then go to usage limit and make it $5 or $10. So that whatever happens, even if it is safe, but you will not spend more than $10 a month. So you need to add your payment details here, and I will. Ishan is left, right? So I have to tell him anyways. For trying playground, you need to do. I'll put a note in the chat. So you need to add your payment detail, and put always better to have a by mistake something happens, your API key is leaked, someone else gets it. So your credit card can get a problem, right? So just put a usage limit of $5 or $10, and then you will be able to use the playground.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
So thank you for putting this picture. Actually, they keep changing. Till 6 months back, they used to give a 5 months credit. So suppose you open it, and did you put your mobile number while you open this account?
No.
Not put any mobile number?
No. I logged in through Google.
Okay. But when you do the billing and you do the setting, when you add your credit card, they will ask you a mobile number. Because now every OpenAI account is linked to a mobile number. Because you cannot create multiple OpenAI with one mobile, only one, because they send the OTP key and all those.
Okay, yeah.
Any other questions, Mahesh, Ritesh, Safni, Rekha?
Shad, when are you doing the next residency program after this starting?
July, this thing is starting. The cohort is
Yeah,
starting.
so
Residency program is actually open. So anyone who, because
no, I want to start from the module 1. So I don't want to come in between. So maybe Rekha will also come in. Let's see.
That is fine. So it is open. So what it is open now, but the cohort, this is the first cohort that we are doing. I am doing these type of mentorship programs for the last 2-3 years, but very specific to everyone, right? You want to you want to learn about specific things. Someone wants to learn about data science, someone wants to learn about data analysis. So I do one-on-one, that is continuously going on.
No,
Cohort,
but for the cohort,
yeah,
for this,
cohort is something
what
that I
we are
start.
covering.
This cohort started in 8th of June. This is the third class today. The next one is going to start in July end or August first week.
Okay.
The cohort, the batch, the total
Yeah,
batch.
so that I might be enrolling for.
Yeah. This one we already covered because what we do is for people who don't know Python, because Python is something that I tell people to learn. Even Ishan here, he's a 12th grader.
You think I can learn it? It's not easy, right?
Not as easy. Everyone learned here, no? Ishan, who was here in the call, he's a 12th grader. He did not know Python at all. So I worked with him for 1.5 months, one-on-one, and now he is coding Python. There is a doctor in our batch. Today he did not join. He is a doctor, medical doctor. He is building a face analysis application. So for the skin detection, like an AI engine. So you take a photo of my skin and you can say what is the problem. So if he wants to understand, he wants to learn. So he told me, do I need to learn coding? I told him it is good because he has a developer with him, right? But if you don't understand coding, the developer can tell it will take you 2 days to do it. But actually, if you know, you can talk to the developer and say, no,
Yes.
it will take you 1 day.
So I think let's talk about this after the class about Python. Let's see.
So this is the truth. It is, I personally, as a academic, I tell people there's no harm, but everyone is busy, right? Like you are a business, you are a startup founder, you don't have the bandwidth. So but if you have time, I tell people to learn because this skill is good. This skill is good and it is going to help you a lot if you are in this tech
I'm
space.
sure because if I have to be in AI space, so we are creating a fintech AI.
Yes.
AI based fintech. So I think Python is the most important language for that.
Yes. How much you learn is a problem. See, the thing is, Python is a big language, and the way I've created this program, and everyone in the batch, Mahesh has gone through it, Namrata has gone through it. It is very specific to AI and data science. Python is a huge language where there are a lot of things. You can use it for web development, game development, a lot of things, but I have only focused on Python for data science and AI. So it's very limited, but if you know that, at least you're confident in understanding 80% of the code that we are going through this program, through these
That would be
modules.
nice. That would be nice.
So that is what we're trying to do, and it is interesting thing, and putting a structure to everything is what we are really working together, and that is very important. Any more questions from anyone else before we end the call? 4 o'clock we are having our community meetup.
Can you
If
please share the link for that? We didn't get it in the email till now.
no, it is there in the WhatsApp groups. If you see
No,
Mary,
the link is not there to join the call.
no, it is there nas.io/. If you go and see if you registered the link, it is there.
Normally the email would come, but the email didn't come with the
Email will come 1 hour before. But you need to register for it.
I registered already.
So you registered, then you'll get 1 hour before you'll get the reminder. And if people have not registered, I will put the link again. So it is this will be every Saturday.
Can Rekha join for this?
Yeah, Rekha can join. So Rekha, you joined the community, right? You use the details that I shared with you, right? If you have joined this is a free community. So let me put on the chat also. 1 second. So I have put on the, you can just register here. So this is a free community.
Yeah,
So
I've done it.
yeah, I have put it on the chat. So you register for this. Namrata, you also, if possible, register for this. It is always good to come for these type of, you get to hear a different perspective from leaders about what they are doing in the AI space, because that is also important, right? Knowledge plus perspective and how you put everything together. Any more questions?
So I'll be trying to use Arshad. I'll be trying to use Playground to create a fintech chatbot for our use case. So if I have any queries, I'll come back to you.
Yeah. Try to put all the information in system instruction, right? About your fintech product, about everything that you feel. Tell it that only answer about fintech related things, the way I showed, right? Try to iterate and keep the temperature 0 and try to put whatever instruction, more the instruction, better the bot will be. In very simple English, if I can tell you. More the time
Do you have
waste,
any sample or use case which we can look at to understand more on how to put the instructions? And
I can share one of the students one. I cannot share the one of the clients because it of the NDA.
no. Of course, student.
Student, I will give me some time. Let me share it, and
So it will give us some perspective to create that.
yes, you can do that perspective. Let me share one of the students that what they have done for Python, same thing, and then you can take that, and as you write more and more, you iterate. So it's an iterative process. The more you do, the more
Of
better
course.
you will become. Let me I hope it was useful, Rekha, Ritesh, Namrata. You guys at least got a concept. I know it is very technical. I try to make it as simple as possible, but you should appreciate LLMs and the history of it, because the foundation is very important for you to
Absolutely.
appreciate it and learn more about it and uh, use it in for better use cases, right? And things are changing very fast. And I am not right now so much focused on the latest developments so much, because it will keep happening. I'm little bit more focused on foundational parts, because that will not change. New things will keep coming on. It will be built upon the same foundation. So if your foundation is good, strong, you're able to understand these parameters, tokens. At least now you the video that I shared, again, the go through that course, AI Guild. It is a good you can say starting point. Deep learning, by next week, the neural network and deep learning recordings, the course will be completed. I will share in the group. Still I'm doing the recording. It's too much time is taking because it is very much detailed, right? How to make it simple is very important. I don't want to go in the mathematics. If I start going in the mathematics, no one of you will be interested.
I want to know little bit of the maths.
I in the parameter video, if you go in the parameter video, I have showed an example with 2 hidden layers. So I have put in the chat. Let me also save the chat, and I can share with you guys later. You can go into the math. So I have showed how to calculate parameters for 2 nodes. So everything that you see mathematically possible in neural network and machine learning, it has been done on a small unit. Because if you do it on a bigger unit, it is impossible for a human to do all these things. But if you understand how one simple neural network works with 2 hidden nodes, at least you have that thing in your mind. And I have done it mathematically. I do mathematically everything for 1 unit, small unit. That you can extrapolate, which is not humanly possible. You need to, because there are millions of nodes. Okay, then I'll get ready for the next meeting. Thank you everyone for joining, and have a great day.
Thank you, Arshad.